Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of Stone Valley 22 by lancyboi. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, 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 how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to go on a map tour of Stone Valley 22 by lancyboi. This little bad mamma jamma is 140.11 megabytes to download and is very cross-platform friendly. This map here is based off of the area in the USA called Illinois, or as I like to call it from Wisconsin, Illinois. Why? If you know, you know. Oh man, so the whole idea behind this map is that you are starting off or picking up right where somebody left their farm laying around. So that's kind of the backdrop behind this. One of the things that we go ahead and do here is we do start off a new farmers mode. That way you guys know what you get when you start off a new farmers mode. So with that being said, let's take a look at the equipment that you'd be starting with. Alrighty then, everyone. Starting off with medium tractors, you have 1, 2 John Deeres and a Massey Ferguson. That's a nice combination you got going on there. Harvesters, you have the Dutzfar Topliner, and that does come with the Dutzfar Topliner grain header, and the trifecta is complete with the Dutzfar Topliner header trailer. Coming over to vehicles, you do have 1 pickup truck in there, nice and red. Trailers, you have 1 Wilger trailer. Cultivators, you have 1 Rab cultivator. Seeders, you have 1 Nordstein seeder. And weights, you have 2 weights to get yourself rocking and rolling. All in all, guys, like I said, you're starting off, picking up where someone left off, and this is a nice little group of things that you are left. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at that map. And here is your map, and as you can see, there are a lot of regularly shaped fields on here, which means there's a lot of regular straight edges. You do see these little lines running through here. These are grassy bush areas where things are growing. You don't have any crops on there, but just to kind of give you an idea, that's what's going on. It really does kind of look like some drainage, veiny things, just to give you that impression. But going ahead and taking a look at this map here, like I said, there's a lot of straight edges on here. A lot of neat things are happening. You have some selling points up top, animal shops up towards the top of the map, a handful of selling locations down towards the bottom. You aren't seeing many production facilities on here. There are a couple of them. But you actually have to purchase the land to be able to go ahead and gain access to them. We'll take a look at that here in just 1 second. But first, one thing I do want to point out here is on this particular map, we do have 2 new crop types, alfalfa and clover, neither of which are growing on the map as of right now, but that's fine. You do have that as an option, and that is pretty darn neat. From what I understand, if you go ahead and windrow these, you can actually feed them to your animals, so that's pretty darn slick. Now, speaking of animals, no matter what game mode you start on, you do start off with these couple of chickens. No matter what happens, you do end up starting with these, and you do end up starting with all the vehicles that you get that we just went over. So keep that in mind as you're rocking and rolling. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look and see what you'd actually start with here. You'd have field 6 and field 2. Field 2 is the one where you have your starting farm location on it. But there are a couple other farm locations that you can actually go ahead and purchase. Up here towards the top of the map, towards field 22, you have a sheep farm up here that you can actually go ahead and purchase for $95,000. Over here by field 10 and field 5, you have a cow pasture farm that you can buy for $246,000. And then this guy by field 8, you can buy for almost $500,000. And that is a little pig farm over here. With that being said, the most expensive field that you can actually buy on this map is the combination of field 10 and 5, and that comes in at $2.2 million. Holy cats. On the opposite end of that spectrum, you have little old field 30, which you can buy for $80,000. What a bargain. Ooh, gotta tell you what. Now, like I said, there are a couple production locations on here that you can actually go ahead and purchase. One of them is right down here. We'll go ahead and buy that right at this second. And this, where's the other one? This guy right here. There we go. Buy those right there. Now, backing up, that gives you access to the grain mill down here, and then over here, the spinnery. Those are really your locations that you do have to go ahead and purchase. But looking at the rest of the map here, price-wise on all these fields, some of the fields are what seem to be pretty darn expensive. Some of them are a little bit more on the cheaper side. But when you get out here and we're rocking and rolling, you'll be able to see that it is really reflective for the amount of land that you get. So even though this one is $2.2 million, there's quite a bit of workable land out there for you to actually jump into and rock and roll with. So with that being said, guys, let's get down on the ground, put on our muck boots, and see what this one looks like from down below. All right, everyone, here we are on the main starting farm that you got going on here. One thing I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to turn that map on the corner so that you guys can kind of follow along with me as we go on our little journey here. Now, this right here, along with the rest of the barns on here, is a lancyboi custom made for this map. Gotta love it. Pretty darn slick, I do say so. Nice working lights. Pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now, there is a couple custom placeables that you can go ahead and put on here. Let's go ahead and take a peek at those really, really quick. Now, they are all underneath the shed category. These are all sheds. So that makes sense. You do have a couple white sheds here that you can go ahead and place down. They're not really too expensive, especially when you're looking at sheds. And then you do have some of these red ones. You'll be able to see these ones here that, you know, we already are going ahead and using. So kind of keep that in mind. You do have those as possibility. And then you do have this nice little repair shed that you can go ahead and put down. All in all, very, very nice. I do like them. When it comes to these custom buildings here, I really find them to be very, very well done. Now, just kind of taking a look around the farmyard here, there really isn't too much going on here. You do have a little dog in there. And one thing that there is available in here is there are collectibles here on the map. So you got that going for you, too. Nice little toy collectibles. So keep your eyes open for random tractors, random harvesters just floating around. I think at this point here, we're going to go ahead and hop into the truck and start touring around the place. Now, one thing that all right, sorry about that, guys. I had just an absolutely large sneeze there. So what I was going to go ahead and say is one thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to keep our eyes open to the future, because lancyboi has gone ahead and said that there will be another production facility that will be making its way onto this map, and that will be compost. Now, as for what that entails, how is it going to work, I don't know, but it's really neat to integrate a brand new production facility into this game. Now, I wanted to come over here because this is a very unique thing to this map. You don't see this too often, but this map paints a very good scenario of an abandoned farm that you're given the opportunity to go ahead and take over. Now, people, as you can see, there must have been quite the hurry. Whatever the reason was, they just left their vehicles out in the fields. You got your cultivator just right there. Harvester, mid-harvest, stops. Done. Get out of here. Something happened. And they want you to go ahead and take this over for them. Now, that's pretty darn slick on the way that that's set up. You don't see that too often, like I said, with maps here. But it's really, really neat to see that. It gives you that opportunity to go ahead and take over. Do that mission. Your mission is to make this farm great. Absolutely great. Bring it back to its glory that it once was. But you don't have to do that because, like I said before, there are several starting farms on here that you can go ahead and pick. And even like that house over there, that's purchasable land. You guys can go ahead and purchase a lot of these fields over here, have houses on them. You can go ahead and start there if you really choose, if you want to. The choice is all yours. Now, I do apologize because one thing I do like to do, guys, is I do like to drive across the fields. but I kind of figure that it gives you a little bit better lay of the land, what things actually look like. You get to see the undulations, figure out what you're going to do. And for the most part, guys, other than like this area over here, you're not going to really run into too many large hills. Traffic isn't bad on this map, so you're going to be able to travel around relatively easy. Hills aren't really that much. It's really not hills. It's more just undulations and lands. Dips, dives, things like that, but not really hills or anything like that. With that being said, that's probably the steepest thing you're going to end up having to deal with, and if you want to tackle that full on, you may have to upsize your equipment just a hair, but really not too much. You're probably going to end up doing just fine. Now, I want to come over here because it's the closest to the cow farm. Now, this is a pretty cool place, if you do say so. We're actually going to go like this for just 1 second. And just like that, I gave myself a little extra cash when we bought this land, just so we can kind of see what's going on here. Now, this location here, like I said, it does have the cow farm over here. Now, I wanted to take a peek at this because this is where your milking house is, okay? This is where you do all your milk and your feed and stuff like that. And over here, this is where this kind of gets to be kind of... That's not where I want to go. Over here, it does get to be kind of neat because this is where your cows actually stay. Or I believe this is where your cows can go ahead and stay. You got your nice little field out here where they can rock and where they can roll. I believe without actually going ahead and taking a peek at it, this is where they actually go ahead and spawn. So you got nice wide open pasture for them to rock, roll, and just have an absolutely great time. You do have nice silage clamps up there for going ahead and making chaff, making those cows happy, making silage. You just gotta love it. All in all, this is a very, very nice location. Not the most expensive location, but you know what? It is pretty darn nice. So let's continue on. I want to at least check out the rest of the farms here. Oops, see. We want to go over that way. We're going to come over this way here. I do, like I said, we want to take a look at the rest of the farms as we kind of get ourselves rocking out here. Kind of avoid these fences the very best I can. There we go. Perfect. And we can continue on rocking and rolling across the landscape. Now this section here, this is the massive Field 5 and Field 10. Lots of stuff happening here. Well, actually not lots of stuff. Everything's ready to get planted. But as you can see, again, just, it's not hilly. It really isn't hilly, but it's not flat. You're definitely driving around on here. It seems like, oh man, it doesn't feel like a flat map. It really, really doesn't feel like a flat map. Maybe right here if I'm just driving looking that way. Okay. Looking off that way before I smash into the trees. Not so much. Not so much. And for those of you who are familiar with Illinois or this particular area, this is exactly what this particular section of Illinois looks like. It is rolly. It does have these little bobs and weaves. Generally relatively flat. But it does have these undulations, these dips, these dives, almost like river valleys where they've been worn out very subtly over time. That's what you're going to get yourself into looking at this stuff here. Now, heading on over here, we coming on to the sheep farm. Pretty darn slick over here. Again, another nice little location here. You got your sheep purchasing point, which is going to be right up over here, I believe it is. And you can go ahead and get things rocking and rolling up here. A little bit of storage, not an absolute ton, but it's not a very large farm location. The plot of land isn't super, super big. There really is just enough stuff here for you to rock and roll and really just ultimately be happy farming on this map. You betcha. You betcha. Let's hop back in here and we'll continue on as we rock and we roll. Now, one of the things that I can personally say that I have failed on here is that this map does state that you can go ahead and flood particular areas. Now, I have tried, I've looked around, probably not as hard as I should have, but I have looked around and I cannot figure out how it is. I've tried to go ahead and make it rain constantly. I did it for 2 days straight, nothing. I couldn't get it to happen. So if you guys know how you can make this map rain, or I should say make it flood on this map, comment down below. Let me know what it is. I'm very curious, and hopefully people will have an opportunity to at least read that and know what's going on. Now, another thing you guys kind of want to keep your eyes peeled open for here is that on this map, towards the edge of the map, there are a couple spots where you can actually kind of slip through. and get caught off the map. So be very, very careful when you're driving around towards the edge. The last thing you want to do is put your harvester over the edge of the map. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. We've all heard the stories of what happens when sailors sail off the edge of the map. Kind of shudder over that one. But as you can kind of see here, like I said, guys, the land, it's not flat, kind of hilly, gives you that nice little setup of where things really are and how things are rocking and rolling. Last farm that I wanted to stop at here was the pig farm, and as you can see, again, like the other ones, you have a little bit of space to rock and roll with. Not absolute tons, but you do have some storage space. Obviously, the starting farm location has the most amount of space storage-wise to go ahead and rock and roll, but all these farms are pretty darn neat in their own right. Now, when you guys are out and rocking and rolling, one thing to kind of keep in mind here is that this map is cross-platform friendly, which means you can play it on everything. That is another thing that's very, very cool. If you want to get a bunch of friends together, go ahead. There's more than enough room on this map to go ahead and conquer the world separately, or if you really want to do it as a team, more than enough space on any of the farms here to do everything together as a team. Now, kind of driving around over here, taking a look at the town, the city, whatever it is that you'd like to call it, you can take a look at these buildings, and I think they're all really, really neat in how they're all laid out. Very, very cool. Last thing I really wanted to hit on hard here is that down here you have these two fields over here. They're the cheapest fields that you got. They're flat. This is probably the flattest section of the map right over here, and that works out very, very slick, because if you're looking to start off with small equipment to get yourself going and build up, these two fields over here are going to be absolutely perfect for you, because you're not going to have to oversize anything. Small equipment's going to be able to handle this stuff no problem whatsoever. One thing I'd like to do really quick right now is I'd like to reset this vehicle. And as you can see, it pops it right over at the shop. We're just on the other side of that building a little bit, and we're right over here at the shop. Now, I've gone ahead and I've actually purchased some vehicles on here. They all do spawn right along here. It's just I forgot to go ahead and actually do the reset on there. So that's where this ends up resetting. And one thing that I think has an opportunity, you can see the license plate. This does have custom license plates that do match Illinois' state license plate. Now, if you guys are really into doing like a lot of role play and really get into the environment that you're at, or whatever the map is at, it really is pretty cool to see something like that, because that goes ahead and it kind of points you right down that same direction. It allows you to go ahead and really immerse yourself in the map, in what's going on. It really is actually a nice little feature that was added on there. Now, myself personally, like I said, I'm a little biased. Wisconsin and Illinois are just natural enemies for whatever reason it is. I can name like 1,000, but I don't want to get into that. This isn't a battle of states right now. This is a map review, and this is another one of those areas, like I said, that is pretty darn cool. You can purchase this chunk of land. It comes with this big field on the backside. You can't open these barns, but it's just a neat little setup, nice little thing. It doesn't have to be done. It doesn't have to be done. You don't have to have this barn here. You don't have to have the basketball hoop. You don't have to have the ladders on the wall. It does not have to be done at all, but it was done. It was done because it was loved, and it was something that that lancyboi felt needed to be on here. And it was one of those little things that I think has added that little wrinkle, that little niche to the map that really does make it kind of special. Now we're gonna come up over here so you guys can really get a good lay of where we're at right now. You can see very, very flat in this area, very, very flat. But as we go up over that way, you can kind of see the little dips, the little grooves. Pretty darn cool. Now I think at this time, guys, we've gone ahead, we've ran around on the ground enough. Let's get up in the air, let's see what's going on, and let's see what this thing looks like from a bird's eye view. Alright everyone, let's go ahead and fly up into the sky and take a look at this thing. Now one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of keep us a little low here for a little bit to kind of give you a little bit better look at the dips and dives. Once you get up super high, it all kind of mellows together. But I think that would not do justice to what we're seeing here. Very, very nice map. It really does paint the image of a community, a very, very nice farming community that you'd find all over the U.S., even in Illinois. We'll give it to them. Even in Illinois, they actually have farms and they make it look nice. I tell you what, guys, I'm kind of impressed by this. I really do like the fact that I've been here. Maybe not here in particular, but I do like the fact that I have been here and it's been duplicated very, very well. That part I really, really like about this. Guys, go ahead and let me know. Have you been to anywhere that kind of looks like this? For you that have been to Illinois, does this paint the picture? Does this make it seem like you're right there? Comment down below. Let me know. Guys, if you guys are liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like button. I tell you what, go ahead and hit that subscription. It really does help out a ton, you betcha. Go ahead and hit that notification bell, have it turned to on, and all that we know in this and other great videos are coming on by myself. Guys, I tell you what, share this with somebody from Illinois. Oh yeah, there's an S on the end of that. You betcha, and we're gonna show it loud and proud. And until I see you next time, thanks for stopping by.